In this video, how to retire abroad and avoid US state taxes. Imagine retiring to sun-soaked beaches in Costa Rica or a charming villa in Portugal, all while keeping your hard-earned savings safe from US state taxes. For retirees looking to stretch their pensions and embrace a global lifestyle, moving abroad and cutting ties with high-tax states like California or New York can save thousands annually. But it's not just about packing your bags. You need to legally sever state ties to avoid audits and double taxation. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how to retire abroad and avoid US state taxes step by step, legally, with all the practical info you need to make it happen. Retiring abroad offers a chance to lower living costs and escape state income taxes, which range from 4% in Colorado to 13.3% in California. States like Texas and Florida have no income tax, but moving abroad to countries like Panama can amplify savings even further with tax-friendly laws and affordable lifestyles. The key is proving you've abandoned your high-tax U.S. state domicile and established a new domicile, while leveraging federal tax breaks like the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion, the FEIE. We have another video on the channel about the FEIE. With 9 million Americans living abroad, including myself, per the US State Department, this strategy is gaining traction. Once you hear more about the tax breaks, it starts to become a no-brainer. So let's walk through the steps to retire abroad. Ditch state taxes and stay compliant. Number one is choose a new tax-friendly domicile and establish domicile. So there's kind of two domiciles you need to think about if you're moving abroad. Your US state and the country that you're moving to. So I'd argue you want to move to a low-tax state and then move abroad. You kind of do both at the same time. We call this the Texas two-step. So if you're moving from a place like California to abroad, the best way to do it is you actually move from California to Texas and then from Texas to abroad. Okay? And then ideally you pick a country with low or no taxes on foreign income, like Panama, Costa Rica, or Paraguay. Panama's territorial tax system only taxes local income. Portugal had the non-habitual resident program that offered a 10-year exemption on foreign income. Uruguay has a similar 10-year exemption on foreign income. To establish domicile, make your new country your permanent home. Rent or buy property, say a condo in Panama City, right? And update your address with the IRS via Form 8822, banks and credit card companies. Now you might be wondering, if you update your banks with an address abroad, won't that set off alarms or something? The answer is set all your stuff to a zero tax state in the US, the Texas two-step, as we were mentioning previously. So you can pick any zero tax state. It could be New Hampshire, Florida, Texas, and you need to sever ties with your high tax state, establish ties with a low tax state like Texas, and then put all your banks, credit cards, and all that stuff in the address from your low tax state. Get a driver's license from that low tax state, and then also get a driver's license abroad in Panama or wherever you choose to move to. So proving your foreign domicile is important. Proving your US state of domicile is important. Some people go straight from the high tax state to abroad, straight from California to Panama. I think it's actually a better process to go from California to Texas to Panama. And you can secure a long-term lease or deed to show commitment. You could buy property in the zero tax state and then paying those utility bills and having utility bills in your name. That's really going to solidify your tax residency. Step two is sever ties with your high tax state. High tax states like California or New York aggressively pursue former residents for taxes if ties remain, per the California Franchise Tax Board. Sell or transfer any property in your high tax state or convert it to a rental, put it on a long-term lease, get a rental contract to show that property is not empty and waiting for you At very least, it's rented out, if not sold. And then you're going to start filing a non-resident return for that income if you're renting it out. Cancel your state driver's license, cancel your voter registration. California views these things as strong ties, so cancel it all, close your local bank accounts in California, or update them to the new low tax address. Move your memberships abroad, move your memberships out of the state, avoid spending more than 183 days in California or in any high tax state in the US, as this triggers statutory residency, taxing your worldwide income. Step 3 is leveraging the foreign earned income exclusion. The IRS's FEIE lets you exclude up to $130,000 of foreign earned income in 2025 from federal taxes if you pass the physical presence test or the bona fide residence test. So the easier one, the more clear-cut one to qualify is using the physical presence test. If you spend 330 days abroad annually, then you will qualify. In other words, if you can spend less than 35 days a year in the United States, you get a huge tax break on your earned income. It works out to about $20,000 a year, which is the equivalent of your federal income tax paid on $130,000. Okay. States can't tax FEIE income if you sever domicile. So again, this is another reason to leave California, is because California and many other states, they don't recognize the FEIE. They'll still come after you for state taxes. Some states recognize it, some don't. The list is constantly changing, but you can find it online. But you can avoid all that complexity by simply having a zero tax state like Texas or New Hampshire. Step 4 is file state and federal taxes correctly. If you move mid-year, file as a part-year resident in your former state, like California's Form 540, reporting income earned before leaving. For example, if you retire to Costa Rica in June, prorate your California income from January to May. File a non-resident return for any state-sourced income like rentals using forms like New York's IT-203. States with no income tax like Texas require no return unless you have local income. Federally, file Form 1040 or 1040 claiming the FEIE if eligible, and report worldwide income, including pensions. Use tax credits like the foreign tax credit, which is Form 1116, to offset foreign taxes paid, avoiding double taxation. Quick tip, file a final state return, even if you own nothing, to establish your departure date and deter audits. And step 5, prove your foreign domicile and avoid audits. States like California audit aggressively, requiring proof you've abandoned domicile. Keep records like foreign utility bills, lease agreements, or local voter registration to show intent. If you visit the U.S., stay under 183 days in any state to avoid statutory residency. Document your life abroad. Bank statements, local club memberships, or even pet veterinary records, as we proved in that 2017 New York case. If audited, provide a paper trail to the state's revenue department, like Colorado's DR0104AD. Posts on Twitter warn that California's Franchise Tax Board targets retirees with lingering ties. Pro tip, use a mail forwarding service abroad to maintain a consistent address. So next, some pitfalls to avoid. First, incomplete tie breaking. Keeping a U.S. driver's license or property risks audits, as states presume continued residency. Second pitfall is spending too much time in the state, 183 days like we talked about. Third is misfiling taxes, incorrectly claiming the FEIE or omitting state-sourced income, which could incur penalties. Fourth, assuming a move is enough. States require proof of foreign domicile or of domicile somewhere else, so make sure you document everything. You need proof. And fifth is ignoring foreign tax laws. Countries like Portugal may tax pensions if you're a tax resident, so keep an eye on the tax treaties. Pro tip, keep a digital folder of residency proof to ace your audits. Next, some practical tips. Hire a cross-border CPA to navigate state and federal rules. If you need some help, MyLatinLife You can book a call with us. There's a link in the description. We can answer all your burning questions, and we can help build you a game plan for your life, both in the US and abroad. Check your state's revenue website, like California has one, it's ftb.ca.gov, for non-resident filing requirements. Move your life fully abroad, your bank accounts, your memberships, etc., to your new country to pass the closer connection test, as it's called. You can look this up, the quote-unquote closer connection test. You want to reduce your ties in the high-tax state and increase your ties in the low-tax state. Track your days abroad, track the state requirements, meet the FEIE requirements if you can, because it's a huge tax break. Works out to about 20 grand a year. So it's almost like they're paying you to live abroad. If you keep U.S. assets like rentals, structure them in a trust or LLC to limit state tax exposure. And by the way, we have an LLC service where we spin up Wyoming LLCs for you, the EIN numbers, everything you need to structure things correctly. And that's the complete guide to retiring abroad and avoiding U.S. state taxes, from picking a tax-friendly state and country to proving your state and foreign domicile. These steps can save you thousands while chasing your dream. Our top takeaway is sever all state ties to your high-tax state, track your days, and document everything to stay tax-free and audit-proof. If you found this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe, drop a comment, and we'll see you in the next video.